You're on a walk like any other day. From a distance, another dog appears. Your dog's ears go up. Their mouth closes. Their body leans forward. The leash starts to tighten. You say, "Sit." You shorten the leash, and within 1 second, your dog is barking, lunging, and making the whole sidewalk turn around. You think they're being bad, or trying to protect you, or refusing to listen, but that may not be what's happening. Not stubborn, not mean, not trying to embarrass you. Your dog may be over threshold. That means the trigger has become too close, too fast, or too intense for your dog's brain to stay calm and process what is happening. And the first thing to do is not to pull them closer so you can fix it. It is to create distance before the explosion happens. Because once a dog is over threshold, you are not really training anymore. You are trying to talk to a nervous system that has already sounded the alarm. This does not mean every dog barking on leash is harmless. If your dog has bitten before, tried to bite, lunges so hard you cannot safely hold them, or suddenly started reacting this way, you need help from a veterinarian or a certified behavior professional. But it is also not fair to call every leash reaction aggression. Reactivity is when a dog overreacts to a trigger, like another dog, a stranger, a bicycle, running children, or a sudden noise. Aggression can involve intent to harm or drive something away. Sometimes the two can overlap, and safety matters. But many reactive dogs are not planning an attack. They are overwhelmed, and before your dog barks, they usually say a lot. The mouth closes, the ears change, the eyes lock on, the body stiffens, the paws slow down, the leash gets tighter, the breathing changes. That is the first shift. Stop waiting for the bark and start reading the body before it. That is the part most owners miss, not because they do not care, because they are human. When your dog starts reacting in public, your brain is also under pressure. People are looking. Someone may pull their dog closer. You may feel your face getting hot. You may think, everyone must believe I don't know how to train my dog. So you do what many loving owners do when a situation feels like it is slipping out of control. You try to regain control. You shorten the leash. You say, no. You ask for sit. You try to get through the moment as fast as possible. You are not a bad owner for doing that, but your dog may not experience that moment as a lesson. They feel your body tense. They feel the leash shorten. The trigger is still there. The exit disappears. The world becomes smaller. And when the world becomes smaller too fast, barking may be the only way your dog has left to create space. So the goal of the walk has to change. Not forever. Not because your dog is hopeless, but for now. The goal is not, my dog must walk past every other dog without reacting. The goal is, I need to find the distance where my dog can still think. That distance is everything. Imagine an invisible circle around your dog. Outside that circle, your dog may notice another dog and still breathe normally. They can glance over, then look back at you. They can eat a treat. They can hear their name. They can keep walking. Inside that circle, everything changes. The eyes lock. The mouth closes. The neck reaches forward. The tail becomes stiff or low and tight. The body turns into an arrow. The leash tightens. This is when many people begin training, but for the dog, the lesson is already almost too late. Threshold is not the bark. Threshold is the line before the bark, where your dog shifts from, I see something, to, I have to react now. And this is why the same dog can be sweet at home, gentle with you, even friendly with familiar dogs, but still explode on a sidewalk. The problem is not only whether your dog likes other dogs. It is the distance, the leash pressure, the speed of the approach, and whether your dog still feels like they have a choice. A reactive dog does not always want to move forward. Sometimes they want to move away, but the leash does not let them. They cannot curve around. They cannot create space. They cannot say to the other dog, I do not want to meet this close. So the body chooses the option it has left. Get bigger, get louder, make the thing move away. From the outside, it can look like your dog is trying to start a fight, but inside, your dog may be trying to end the pressure. The second shift is understanding what the leash may be telling your dog. You may tighten the leash because you are trying to keep everyone safe, and safety matters. You should never let a reactive dog rush into another dog's space. But if the leash becomes tight exactly when your dog is staring at the trigger, your dog's body may read that tension as another warning. You are tense. The leash is tense.
The trigger is close. There is no exit. Then you say, sit. And this is one of the most misunderstood moments on a walk. The third shift is about timing. A cue can be useful, but only while your dog can still use it. Sit is not a bad cue. In a calm environment, it can help a dog pause, focus, and reset. But if your dog is already too close to the trigger, asking for sit can feel like asking them to stay still in the exact place where they feel unsafe. The body wants to leave, the mouth wants to bark, the feet are being held in place, so the bark gets louder. Not because your dog is trying to defy you, because your request arrived at a moment when their nervous system no longer had enough space to choose a softer behavior. The fourth shift is realizing the reaction may not have started on the sidewalk. Sometimes, the reaction you see on the walk was not created by that one dog across the street. It was created by the whole morning. The delivery truck outside the window. A stranger staring at your dog in the elevator. A bicycle passing too close. A child running by and yelling. You were in a hurry, so the leash was tighter than usual. Then another dog appears. To you, it feels like, my dog reacted for no reason. To your dog's nervous system, it was the final drop. Stress can stack. One small moment, then another, then another. That is why your dog may pass 3 dogs calmly, then explode at the 4th. Not because the 4th dog was special, but because your dog had less capacity left than you realized. If you only look at the bark, you will think the problem is the other dog. If you look at the whole chain, you will see something different. The bark was not the beginning, it was the end. Ears, mouth, eyes, leash, distance, breathing. That is where the real information is, and that is where you can help. And this is the part that can change your very next walk, because it gives you something to do before everything falls apart. Now here is the part you can actually practice on your next walk. Do not wait for the bark to decide your dog needs support. Look for the moment before it. When you see a trigger from far away, ask one question. Can my dog still think here? Can they breathe? Can they take a treat? Can they hear their name? Can they look at the trigger and then look back at you? Can they move away without their body turning stiff? If the answer is yes, you may have found the learning distance. Not the perfect distance, not the distance where your dog feels nothing, just the distance where your dog has not been swept away yet. That is where learning starts. If the answer is no, do not argue with the dog's nervous system. Create distance. Turn gently to the side. Walk in a curve. Step behind a parked car. Cross to the wider side of the street if it is safe. Or simply turn around before your dog has to bark to get relief. You do not need to make it dramatic. No leash jerking, no loud voice. No proving anything to anyone. Just say in a normal voice, "This way," and help your dog leave the place that is too close. If your dog can see the trigger and then look back at you for even 1 second, reward that. Not because your dog is performing perfectly, because they just did something hard. They noticed the thing that makes them tense, and they still came back to you. For many reactive dogs, that is the first brick. A softer leash, a small head turn, one deeper breath, one moment of seeing the trigger and choosing to move on. Progress may not look impressive to strangers, but it is real, because your dog is learning that the world does not have to be handled through barking. For the next few walks, use this as your simple map. First, scan the environment earlier than your dog does. Not so you can become tense, but so you can prepare. If you see another dog, a bicycle, a child running, or a stranger walking straight toward you, ask yourself, do we have enough distance? Second,
Read the body before you read the bark. A closed mouth, stiff tail, locked eyes, slower paws, tighter leash, or sudden stillness may be the first message. I am getting close to my threshold. Third, end before everything falls apart. A shorter walk where your dog stays under threshold is more valuable than a longer walk where they rehearse the same explosion again and again. This is hard for humans. We want progress to look like getting closer, walking longer, passing the other dog without avoiding anything. But with a reactive dog, progress often looks quieter, more space, a softer body, a dog who can look away, a dog who still has a choice. And if your dog has bitten, tried to bite, lunges so hard you cannot safely hold them, redirects onto you, or suddenly changed behavior, do not try to solve it with a video alone. Talk to your veterinarian or a certified behavior professional, not because you failed, but because some situations need a safer plan.
But if you are at the beginning, start here. On the next walk, do not try to fix the whole problem. Find 3 moments before the bark. In the first moment, create distance. In the second moment, wait for a small head turn. In the third moment, reward your dog for choosing to look away from the trigger, even for 1 second. Then end the walk before things go too far. It sounds small, but for a dog who once believed every trigger was a crisis, 1 calm second before the explosion is not small. It is the first brick. And if you keep placing those bricks at the right distance, at the right time, with a calmer body of your own, your dog learns something deeper than walking politely. They learn that when the world becomes too much, you will not push them deeper into it. You will help them find the distance where they can think again. A better walk does not begin by forcing your dog to be silent. It begins when you see them sooner.